Hi everybody, I'm head forecaster Philip Duncan, and before we get into New Zealand's weather, we're going to take a look at what is going on in Texas at the moment. This is the remnants of Harvey, obviously a major Category 4 hurricane when it made landfall on Saturday New Zealand time. It's now a tropical storm, much weaker, but it's producing a monumental amount of rain. So if you look at the low, doesn't look too dramatic at the moment. You know, the central air pressure is well up, dropped down to the 940s for a time at the weekend. But it's this little area of rain right over the top of Houston, near towards San Antonio, that is producing the real concern. They are predicting 50 inches of rain in just a few days. And if you're like me and don't understand what that is, so you have to work it out in millimeters, you're talking close to 1.3 meters of rain. 1,300 millimeters of rain is expected in some areas. And to put that into, like, sort of try and figure what that means in New Zealand terms, most centres in New Zealand receive about the same rainfall as Houston. We get around about 1,000 to 1,200 millimeters of rain annually. And that's what they're getting in just a few days. The only time I can really recall that happening in New Zealand on a major scale was Cyclone Bowler, which dumped close to a metre of rain around the Gisborne and Hawke's Bay ranges, and to this day you can still see the scars on the hills. So this is going to be a major event. It already is a major event, and direct flights from New Zealand to Houston have been cancelled because the airport is closed until further notice. This is how it looks back here in New Zealand now. Big high pressure out to our east, which you can see in the white colouring, and then the purple indicates low air pressure. A little bit of a troublemaker out in the Tasman. Not a major system, but it's going to be coming in later this week. For now though, we're dealing with this area. It's the tropical line of rain, bit of a convergent zone in here where the westerlies push against the nor'easters, and you're getting some really big downpours. So the start of the week sees very heavy rain across parts of Bay of Plenty and out towards East Cape later on. Now once we get to Tuesday, that all moves out to sea. It's a pretty calm day around the country on Tuesday, not too much going on, but that low out in the Tasman drifts closer, and that moves in on Wednesday. It's not a major system at all, it's just got a period of downpours. Otherwise, it is not a major. Most other places have high pressure down on this side, which helps even things out a wee bit. On the final day of winter, on the meteorological calendar anyway, we've got an area of low pressure, but we were talking about this the other day, saying what will be happening for the first day of September. And as I said to you last week, there was a big high and then a low sitting on the top of it, which is a complicated sort of setup. This is how we look as we head on towards the final day. It is a low, it's a large area of low pressure, but the central air pressure 1010 and average air pressure is only is around about that. So this is not a major low. It looks kind of big, but it really doesn't have a lot of energy going with it. And once we get to the first day of September, it's pretty much what we said last week. The big high has snuck down here though, so it is just south of New Zealand. How frustrating. So over us, we've got this big area of low pressure that is not stormy for most areas, but unfortunately it's going to drive in a bit more rain to already saturated parts of the east coast of the South Island. So it is not a storm like I say, but it's one to keep an eye on. It's a messy setup as we end winter and we kick off spring this week, at least on the meteorological calendar. And before I go, speaking of the start of an end of seasons, our new poll running today on the Weather Watch homepage asks, what date do you consider winter to end on? There are 4 different options, so please do vote. I'd be very keen to see what most of you consider to be the end of winter. That's all from me. We'll update you again on Tuesday with the very latest.